don't know about you, but I'm always happy to get all of that holiday stuff out the door, put back, and set aside for next year, and get the house in good order, clean, and then start afresh. And one of the ways I do that is I love to force some bulbs into bloom. And two of the most common are the Amaryllis and the Paperwhites. And you can do this with hyacinths and crocus and all other sorts of things. Those have to be pre-chilled. I've certainly done tulips in the past, but you need to make sure they are pre-chilled. So why don't we jump into just a few tips that will put you in good stead to have blooming flowers in your home. Before we go any further, I'd like to thank our sponsors. The Garden Home blog is made possible by Gilbert H. Wild & Son, who've been growing beautiful perennials since 1885. Ralston Family Farms, a farm family producing delicious rice for your table. First Community Bank, whose heart is in the community, as well as Sunpatiens, SuperCal Petunias, and Dragon's Breath Celosia, and Crystal Bridges, Museum of American Art. Check out my website to learn more about the brands we love. So who doesn't love beautiful flowers, right? And for most of us, we don't live in a climate, unless you live in zones 9 and south, where you've got flowers blooming abundantly year long. But you can, in the bleakest of winter, force a few things into bloom. And that's what I want to talk about today. I just want to, for a moment, talk about the anatomy of a bulb. I'm going to take this small bulb here, and I just want to show you, I'm going to split this and show you that the embryo of this bulb is in there with a little flower packed away. And so if you look closely, you'll see right there the little tiny flower bud. So these flowers are pre-packaged by nature in these little brown wrappers. And it's just up to us to coax them out. My opinion is, if you can't grow these, you might as well hang it up, right? This is like the easiest gardening ever. And people often complain, I don't have time to garden, I don't have the space to garden. That's a bunch of bunk. It doesn't take any time at all to grow these. So I'm going to start with the Paperwhites. You can see they'll grow literally in standing water. This is a classic bulb vase used for forcing. You've probably seen hyacinths growing out of these. In this case, we've got Paperwhites. And with the water in here, just keeping fresh water in here, look at how those roots are growing. Now, Paperwhites will start blooming in about 4 to 6 weeks. Once you plant them, the bulbs look like this. This is actually a very fragrant Paperwhite called Ziva. And they are, again, easy to grow. These, by the way, are narcissus called Cheerfulness that we grow out in the daffodil fields. If you've never been here in the spring, particularly around mid-March, and seen the 450,000 or so daffodils that we've planted here on Daffodil Hill at Moss Mountain Farm, you really need to plan to come see us. But anyway, back to these narcissus that one can grow literally in the house. It's so simple. I mean, I'm going to just show you. I'm going to add some rock. I love these big river stones. And then I'm just going to take these bulbs. I always call this kind of the candy kiss. There's the candy kiss. There's a little wrapper on top. And you just force these down into the gravel like this. And I really wouldn't call this so much gravel. It's a large aggregate gravel, but these rocks. And I'm getting the basal plate about the same level in here, so that when the water level's in there, it touches each one of them. And then I'm going to actually cover some of these just to stabilize them. Just a few rocks on top, because as you can see, they grow very tall. There we go. That's all there is to it. So in this container, I put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 beautiful bulbs in there. And so, as they say, just all you have to do here is add water. I'm going to fill this up. And these bulbs will root. And as I said, 4 to 6 weeks, put them in full sun, turn the container every couple of days so they don't lean too much toward the light. If you want to speed them up, keep them in a warmer room. If you want to slow them down, put them in a cooler room that doesn't have so much light. That's the way you can modulate the size, and that's all there is to it. These just got popped into, as I mentioned, a bulb vase. They started rooting in, and you get this beautiful, I just think they're gorgeous just the way they look. They're very, very modern and have a gorgeous sort of line to them. One of the things that I want to show you is the difference between a good bulb and a bad bulb. Notice in this case, we've got the really nice green tips coming up. And in this case, this bulb is soft. This bulb is firm. So you want to squeeze them and see. And indeed, this one is absolutely dry. I'm going to cut this open so you can see it. And this would be what we call a dud bulb. Yeah, not much left in there. And it was really soft and it's very squishy. So this would be a bulb I wouldn't buy. Got a couple extras in here I'm going to tuck in just so I keep them all together. So in a container this size, I've got about actually seven bulbs in here after finding these other two that I missed out on. So we'll get those covered up. So now let's move over to the amaryllis, one of the showiest flowers you can have in the home or the garden for that matter. The larger the bulb, the more blooms you're likely to get. I've seen some large bulbs with multiple stalks. It looks like this one's going to have at least 3. This one is a smaller bulb and it looks like it's only going to have 1 stalk, but you can be fooled by them. Don't worry about the dry roots on them. I do like to see a few fleshy roots like you see here and here. These have been cut off by the grower. And much like the Paperwhite, if you'll plant these just up to the top shoulder of the bulb, that's really all you need. The stalk will often grow so fast that you're going to need to stake it. And I like to stake them with just natural twigs. You can use a little raffia to tie them if they get top heavy with those big gorgeous flowers. But the thing to remember is the larger the bulb, the more flowers you're likely to get. Now, in this one I planted just, about a week ago, and it's already growing. I'm just going to pull this Spanish moss off so you can see. I'm going to give it a little water because water is very key to these bulbs. They just cannot go dry. You can't really water them too much because both of these, the narcissus, Paperwhites, and the amaryllis will grow in standing water. So they really are absolutely foolproof. Now, this plant will take a longer time to flower than the Paperwhites, probably 6 to 8 weeks. One of the things that I suggest is that you buy several of these and just keep them in storage and then pot them once a week or so or every 10 days. And so you'll have them all through the month of, well, late December, January, and February. And that's one of the great things about them, just by staggering them. You don't want to put any of these bulbs in the refrigerator with produce. Produce gives off particular things like apples, ethylene gas, and ethylene gas will kill that little embryo that I showed you in that bulb. Let me find it here again. So what happens is the ethylene gas will actually kill the little embryo of the flower. So bear that in mind. I've got an old refrigerator that I keep in the garage, and there's where I can store these. I can actually pot them up and place them and stack the pots in the refrigerator, and that works really well. Now, this is something new that I discovered. It's an amaryllis bulb, clearly, but they've been dipped into a wax, and these will, according to the nursery, will flower just like this. How much easier can it be to grow a flower? What I do question is once they bloom, what do you do with it? Whether it's wrapped in paraffin like this or you're growing them in containers, what I would do is place them outside. If you live in a zone say 8, southern 8, 9, and south, these will actually grow outside. They seem to do better growing on the south side, particularly the colder the temperatures in your area. That warm south side is ideal for them. But in this case, once this finished flowering, the idea is it's going to come up here and have a big bloom. Probably going to have to stabilize this thing in some way. I've never grown one like this, so I'm going to be really interested to see how it performs. It may do extremely well. Yeah, so maybe some of you've seen these or even tried them. If you have, I'd love to hear about it. This one is obviously planted conventionally. I've got a peat moss mix here, just some basic potting soil that I like to use, and I could plant this outside afterwards. But if you want an amaryllis to rebloom and you don't live in the deep south, what you do is you cut the bloom off, leave the stalk, leave any foliage, and then when it warms up, take this out like a house plant and make sure it gets plenty of sun. Let the bulb rebuild itself naturally. Fertilize it just as you would your other house plants, and let it grow. And then in the fall, bring it in. You can take it out of the pot or not, but let it go dry. Put it in a closet where it's dark and let it go dormant. Let it go dormant for about 2 months, and then bring it back out, begin to water it, and then you should, with any luck, get another stalk and a bloom. So that's the way to recycle them. They're so affordable these days. Just starting with new ones may be much easier. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you've enjoyed it, please like the video. And if you're not a subscriber, love for you to be a subscriber to my channel. And if you'd like notifications when we've got new content going up, which we do regularly, just ring the bell, all right? And I send out a weekly newsletter. You just go to pallensmith.com, sign up for that, and each Friday we'll send you updates on what's going on with the show, recipes, ways to use flowers in your home, and also all the things that are going on here at Moss Mountain Farm. All right, hope to see you soon right here at the farm.